History books tell you about Rome's emperors, its armies, and its greatness. But they never tell you the hidden secrets, forbidden practices, political manipulations, and strange realities that shaped the ancient world behind closed doors. Today, we're revealing the truths your teachers never mentioned. Because once you see these secrets, you'll never look at ancient Rome the same again. Behind the marble walls and heroic statues, the Roman elite lived in a world of excess. Lavish feasts, where they ate until they were sick only to continue eating, were just the beginning. The powerful indulged in rituals that would shock even modern audiences, private banquets filled with political bribes and hidden alliances forged in the shadows. Emperors were not always symbols of stability. Many were merely puppets, their strings pulled by wealthy families or the ambitious military Praetorian Guard. Some, like Caligula, were shaped by childhood trauma and paranoia, creating a court filled with constant fear, insidious plots, and deadly deception. What Rome showed the world was a facade of strength and order. What happened behind the scenes was pure chaos. This contrast between public image and private reality is the first secret you were never told. The grandeur was a mask for the turmoil that defined the lives of the powerful. Now, let's talk about the history you were taught. Much of what we know about ancient Rome comes from a handful of writers, senators, and aristocrats with clear political motives. They didn't just record history, they crafted it to glorify their allies and systematically destroy the reputations of their enemies. Figures like Nero, often painted as a mad tyrant who fiddled while Rome burned, were frequently slandered by political opponents who wanted them erased from memory or remembered only as monsters. Victors didn't just write history, they erased it, literally chiseling the names of their rivals from monuments. This was a process known as damnatio memoria, or the condemnation of memory. Rome mastered propaganda long before modern governments even understood its power. The stories you read in textbooks are often the final draft of a politically motivated campaign, not an unbiased account of what truly happened. Rome didn't stay powerful for over 1,000 years by accident. It controlled its massive population using sophisticated psychological strategies that are still studied today. You've probably heard of bread and circuses, the policy of providing free grain and spectacular entertainment to the masses. But this wasn't just generosity. It was a calculated tool to distract people from poverty, political corruption, and the loss of their freedoms. The Colosseum wasn't just an arena, it was a pressure valve, a place where the public could vent its anger and aggression safely. Public executions were not simply punishments. They were fear-based propaganda, demonstrating the brutal reach of the state. And the grand monuments that still stand today? They were built not just for beauty, but to intimidate foreign visitors and remind every citizen of the immense power of the empire. Rome understood a fundamental truth: if you control the emotions of the people, you control the empire itself. Beyond its psychological warfare, Rome possessed technologies that historians often fail to highlight. We focus on the legions and the aqueducts, but the reality was far more advanced. They built self-cleaning public toilets with running water, intricate underfloor heating systems called hypocausts that warmed entire villas, and massive water networks that still inspire engineers today. Their concrete formula was so advanced that modern scientists are still struggling to fully replicate it. It was a self-healing material, which is why Roman structures like the Pantheon are still standing nearly 2,000 years later, some stronger than buildings made today. This wasn't just an empire of brute force. Rome was an empire of innovation, far ahead of its time, pioneering solutions to urban problems that we still grapple with in the 21st century. Beneath the surface of the official state religion, with its familiar gods like Jupiter and Mars, Rome was a hotbed of mysterious cults, secret religions, and underground spiritual groups. One of the most intriguing was the Mithraic cult, practiced almost exclusively by soldiers and elites in hidden temples carved deep underground, called Mithraea. Its complex symbols, involving a bull-slaying god, and its secret initiation rituals remain largely unsolved mysteries for historians even today. Meanwhile, everyday Romans weren't just following the state-sanctioned gods. They were quietly mixing pagan rituals with local, regional traditions, creating a spiritual world far more complex and diverse than our textbooks suggest. Magic, curses, and folk beliefs were an integral part of daily life, a hidden layer of faith that operated just outside the view of the authorities. So what was life really like for the average Roman? Despite the empire's grandeur, most of its citizens lived difficult, crowded lives. The magnificent forums and villas were a world away from the reality of the insulae, the rickety, multi-story apartment buildings that were prone to collapse and fire. The streets were vibrant during the day, but dangerously unsafe at night, with crime being a constant threat, but the people were incredibly resilient. They created bustling marketplaces, lively festivals, and communal baths that served as the social heart of the city. These were places where people from all walks of life could gather, socialize, and conduct business. Tight-knit communities formed within neighborhoods, helping people survive the daily challenges of a booming, chaotic empire. Rome wasn't just its emperors and armies, it was millions of ordinary people trying to carve out a life amidst a world of overwhelming power, constant danger, and fleeting possibility. And this brings us to the final, most important secret, the one that explains Rome's fall. It wasn't a single invasion or a great disaster that brought the empire to its knees. Rome collapsed because the internal systems that once made it powerful, its military discipline, its political structures, its economic engine became too heavy and corrupt to sustain. Greed replaced unity, personal ambition replaced loyalty to the state. Comfort and complacency replaced discipline and sacrifice. The empire didn't die in one dramatic moment. It slowly unraveled, piece by piece, as its foundations rotted from within. And the most chilling part, most people didn't even notice it was happening until it was far too late. The fall of Rome is a timeless warning about how even the greatest civilizations can crumble from the inside out. Thanks for watching. If you want to uncover more hidden truths from history, make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel.